Damn it, the billionaire cursed, his voice cutting through the roaring winds and relentless downpour. The storm raged on as he drove, determined to reach a crucial meeting, one that would seal a billion-dollar deal. But suddenly, boom! His luxury car jolted violently, veering toward the roadside. A flat tire. Just as luck. With no cell signal and the clock ticking, frustration gnawed at him. Stranded, helpless, and soaked in the rain, things were looking grim. Then, out of nowhere, 3 teenage boys appeared, chatting and laughing as they walked down the road. One of them called out, "Need some help, sir?" Despite his doubts, the billionaire nodded. And in just 20 minutes, the boys had expertly swapped out the damaged tire, working together with seamless coordination. Grateful, he pulled out a stack of cash as a thank you gesture, but the boys simply shook their heads. "No need, sir. Just glad we could help," one of them said with a grin. A few days later, a sleek black SUV pulled up to the boys' homes, delivering gifts far more valuable than money, an act of gratitude that would change their lives forever. Let's take a moment to reflect on this inspiring true story. Kindness costs nothing but can leave a lasting impact. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories like this. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. The rain poured mercilessly, drumming against the sleek black Mercedes as Chris, a self-made billionaire, navigated the winding road. Visibility was low, and the windshield wipers fought against the storm, struggling to keep his view clear. He glanced at the glowing digits on his dashboard. Only 45 minutes left until the most critical meeting of his career. This wasn't just any deal. It was a billion-dollar agreement that could further solidify his legacy. But then, boom! A violent jolt rocked the car, followed by a rhythmic thump, thump, thump. His heart sank. A flat tire. "Damn it," he muttered, pulling over onto the muddy roadside. Stepping out, the cold rain immediately soaked through his tailored suit. His leather shoes squelched in the wet dirt as he popped open the trunk. He stared at the spare tire. He had people for this, mechanics, chauffeurs, but none of them were here now. And to make matters worse, no cell signal. Frustration clawed at him. If he didn't make it to the meeting on time, he wouldn't just lose the deal. He'd risk his reputation, something he had built for years. Just as he was about to curse his luck again, distant laughter cut through the sound of the storm. Squinting through the downpour, he spotted 3 figures on bicycles approaching. The boys, no older than 15, rode toward him, their mismatched raincoats splattered with mud. One of them, the tallest, slowed down and called out, "Hey, mister. Need a hand?" Chris hesitated. His first instinct was to wave them off. What could a few teenagers do? But reality sank in. He was out of options. Yeah, he admitted, gesturing toward the shredded tire. "Not sure if you guys can actually help, though." The boy in the worn-out blue raincoat grinned confidently. "We've done this before. Well, mostly on bikes, but hey, it's the same concept." His friends, Tony and Peter, nodded in agreement. Chris watched in disbelief as the boys got to work. Ethan, the leader, expertly loosened the lug nuts while Tony fetched the tools from the trunk. Peter steadied the car, making sure everything stayed secure. "You sure you don't mind getting drenched?" Chris asked, still skeptical. "It's just rain," Peter shrugged. "We're soaked already anyway." Despite the freezing downpour, the boys laughed and joked as they worked. To them, this wasn't a burden. It was an adventure. Their teamwork was effortless, their energy contagious. In just 20 minutes, they were done. Ethan wiped his muddy hands on his raincoat and stood up with a satisfied grin. "All set, mister." Chris stared at the car, then back at the boys, still trying to process what just happened. "You really pulled it off," he said, half in awe. Reaching into his wallet, he pulled out a handful of crisp bills. "Here, take this. You guys earned it." But Ethan simply shook his head. "Nah, we're good." Chris frowned. "Are you sure? It's the least I can do." Tony grinned. "You needed help. That's all there is to it." Before Chris could argue, the boys hopped back on their bikes and pedaled away, their laughter fading into the distance. For a long moment, Chris stood in the rain, watching them disappear. Something about their selflessness struck him deep, something he couldn't quite name. Climbing back into his car, he checked the dashboard clock. There was still time to make it to the meeting. But as he drove off, it wasn't the billion-dollar deal that occupied his mind. It was those three boys. Kindness without expectation. Help without strings attached. And for the first time in years, he felt something shift inside him.